Hello, people of the world. Please subscribe, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Right, so I'm going to talk about this respiration, okay? So respiration is about converting basically glucose into energy, okay? Or sugars, carbohydrates into energy, okay? That's what you're doing, which is ATP, okay? So that's the basic formula equation. Sugars, carbohydrates, like starch, potatoes, rice, starch into, or sugar as well, sucrose, sugar, glucose, sugars basically, into energy, which is equal to ATP. So, so glucose, that's converted into 2 times pyruvate, okay? And that produces, that uses 2 ADP plus 2 PI in organic phosphates and makes 2 ATP, okay? Okay, so this section takes place in the cytoplasm, in the cell cytoplasm. These molecules then go into the mitochondria, okay, where they enter a cycle, okay, and you get carbon dioxide released, okay. I'm going to slightly run out of the room here. And then you get coming off here, so this is in mitochondria. Okay? In the mitochondrial matrix. Okay? And then you get coming off here, you get energy rich hydrogens, okay, which are attached to the carrier molecule, okay. So that then basically gets passed along a system here of enzymes, okay, which at the end of it makes water, okay. It uses oxygen, that's taken in, okay, oxygen, and you get 18 ADP plus 18 PI in organic phosphates, and that makes 18 ATP. Okay, so yeah, in the basic glucose to pyruvate reaction, pyruvic acid, you get 2 ATP made, and in the basic, so I shall circle the key points. So in that reaction you get 2 ATP made, and then once the cycle's happened you get 18 ATP made, okay? And you get water produced, you breathe in oxygen. So when you breathe out with your lungs, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. When you suck oxygen through the air, the oxygen is being used combined with the hydrogen to make water, okay? And you get 2 ATP made there, 18 ATP made here. The significance of that is if you're running, say, fast or something, or you're getting out of breath and you're running out of oxygen, this reaction occurs. So when there's a lack of O2 and you get lactic acid, you get lactic acid made, okay? So if you're doing a running race, a fast running race like an 800 meters, or you're just running around getting for the lactic acid, you run out of energy quickly because this section stops, okay? So all you get is this part. Yeah, all you get is I'll cover up my hand. All you get is this part here. So you get only 2 ATP made, which is why you get very tired, and lots of lactic acid made. As soon as you start getting oxygen again, when you pant and you start breathing heavily at the end, this starts it up again, and your energy levels go back to normal. You get 18 ATP made. Okay. So that's the basic process. ATP stands for, you need to learn these names, ATPP equals adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. An ADP stands for adenosine diphosphate. Equals adenosine, then diphosphate. Okay, and PI stands for inorganic phosphate. Inorganic phosphate. Okay, so yeah, I also didn't mention yet, I said this is in the mitochondrial matrix. This part actually occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay, so this occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane. I'll just quickly draw a picture to illustrate what I mean. So you get the mitochondria is like this. It's full of lots of folds like this. Okay. So that's the outer mitochondrial membrane. Membrane. Okay, and that's the inner mitochondrial membrane. You shouldn't write abbreviations, write it properly like this. I'm just running out of room, but you should write it properly. Mitochondrial membrane. That's the matrix. Okay, that's the inner membrane space. And these are folds, okay? They're called cisternae. So the enzyme, this is enzyme reactions, okay? And this is found, so when hydrogen is attached to the carrier molecule and comes out this cycle, okay, which is full of, this is full of energy, hydrogen. And it goes through this system. Yeah, it goes through, when it goes through this system here, this is actually occurring, this is occurring, and you get ATP made here, 18 ATP. This is actually occurring in this section here, okay? Okay, so you got all these, so where the red dots are in this, that shows you, that illustrates to you where this process going through here, where 18 ATP made, is actually occurring in the mitochondrial membrane folds. That's why there's a very high surface area, which is about equivalent of our, thinking of alveoli when they say that. Forget that. Yeah, it's got a the folds make this have a very high surface area, a bit like your lung alveoli. The alveoli of your lung have a surface area equivalent to a tennis court, okay? If it was just simply a smooth inner membrane like this, it would be very low surface area, but by having a lot of folds, it makes it a very high surface area, okay? So you get thousands of enzymes dotted along here, the red dots, which is where this set of reactions occurs, okay? So that's where you get a lot of energy made. So yeah, that's in the membrane space. So basically, one more thing. So basically, the overall reaction is you get carbon dioxide. You get glucose plus oxygen, carbon dioxide plus water. Okay, which is this whole process, which is this process here. Okay, so maybe I'll put these side by side. It's a bit easy to see. So you get, yeah, and then you get adenosine diphosphate plus Pi. Those combine to form ATP. Okay, and then the ATP is used to convert amino acids to protein, which is actually part of protein synthesis during when our DNA turns into RNA turns into protein. So yeah, ATP is used in protein synthesis. ATP is made from ADP and PI, and that's made from glucose being metabolized in respiration to produce CO2 and water. So this is an overall summary of the whole process. Okay, and one more thing I should go over. In plants, when I mentioned this reaction here, so glucose converts to 2-pyruvate, and when there's no oxygen or lack of oxygen, you get lactic acid in animals and 2-ATP made. In plants, okay, so in plants, the glucose is converted to 2-pyruvate, okay? That, and again, lack of oxygen leads to alcohol being made, ethanol, okay, plus CO2. So this is what occurs when you make yeast, when you use yeast to make beer, wine, whiskey, etc. Beer. And it happens when if they start going off, they ferment as well. It's the same process, you get ethanol made. So yeah, glucose is when you get to 2-pyruvic acid, lack of oxygen leads to alcohol. Okay. This is also reversible. It can go backwards. I should say these reactions are reversible in animals and plants. This is actually irreversible. It can also go that way. So when you start breathing oxygen again, it goes back this way. Okay, it's irreversible. This is irreversible. Okay, it can go that way and it can go that way. Okay, so yeah, that's a summary of the process in plants and animals. So this is what occurs that occurs in animals, and that occurs in plants. Okay, yeah, I've heard of birds getting alcohol, I've heard of birds, like feathered birds, having accidents in flight because they eat fruit that's fermenting and they get basically drunk and they crash. I've heard stories of that. So, thank you.